Today we're going to make a chicken recipe that is so easy that your guests will think you worked on it for hours. We are doing my honey-baked Middle Eastern chicken. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. If this is your first time tuning in, let us know you're out there by giving us a big thumbs up below and then hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss a video. Now, let's start cooking. This has got to be one of the easiest chicken recipes you can ever imagine. It's just so simple. The ingredients for this simple recipe are one chicken, in which I've just quartered it. I've got two leg quarters and I've got two breasts. So we've got a chicken that's quartered, or you could use 4 different quarters, chicken quarters if you'd like. And I've left the skin on, and I'll show you why in a second. And then we've got a simple rub that uses basically Middle Eastern spices. So the spice rub for this recipe, in today's recipe, I'm using 1 teaspoon each of ground coriander, cumin powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, turmeric, and then I'm using a ½ teaspoon of fenugreek, and then a ¼ teaspoon of Berberre, or you could use it's another spicy pepper if you'd like a Cayenne pepper or an Esplette pepper. And then for our honey today, we are using a really special honey, and I really recommend getting a really nice organic honey for this. But my great chef friend Cameron from Australia is also a beekeeper, and this is his first production of honey. So thank you, Cameron, for the wonderful honey. So we'll be using that for our glaze today. And we've got just a little bit of olive oil. So to prepare this chicken, I've got the pieces separated here, and we just want to make sure, I'm just going to pat them dry, because we want to form a little caramelization on the skin. We want the skin to crisp up a little bit. We have patted the chicken dry, but now we're going to add a little bit of olive oil, and we're only adding this olive oil so that the rub will stick to the chicken. And I'm also we're going to actually put some of this rub underneath the skin, but on the drumsticks, I'm just going to cut a couple of little slits so that seasoning gets into those drumsticks as well. So we've got that, and we'll just take our rub, dust our chicken with it, and so we want to make sure that we get that all over the outside of the chicken. And again, that you can certainly adjust the spice level of this. This is not meant to be screaming hot. It's just meant to be very, very full of flavor, lots of depth of flavor. And so I'm going to go underneath the skin on the thigh, and the same thing on the breast portions. We'll just go right underneath the skin with some of our spice rub, and we'll just make sure that all of the chicken gets some of that spice on it, because that is absolutely the good stuff. And you know, the level of spice on this chicken will be diminished somewhat by the fact that we're actually going to baste it with honey. We're going to do a little bit of a glaze with some honey. So that will do it for our rub. Okay, so that's our chicken, and we're just going to let that marinate 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll move on with our recipe. While our chicken is marinating, we've gone ahead and we've preheated the oven to 190 degrees centigrade or 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So we've got that heating up, and what we'll do is put some of our honey in our bowl here, because we won't be using all of this honey. We'll probably just use that much of it. And it is ready to go. So our chicken is just about finished marinating, and we are going to just set our honey aside, and we'll be ready to put our chicken in the oven. Our oven is preheated and we are ready to start cooking our chicken. So what I'm gonna do is just put we're using a rack. We're using just a little roasting pan with a rack on it. And we'll put our leg quarters in, and then our breast portions in. All right. And as we do this, what I'm doing is I am making sure that the thicker portions of the breast and of the thigh quarters are pointed toward the outside, or on the outside of where the heat is. And we have the wings in here as well for just a little extra. And we will just put them in. And the goal with this is to make sure that the pieces are separated, and so that there's nice air flowing around all the pieces. So our chicken is ready to go, and we will just put it in our preheated oven. And now we'll let that chicken stay in the oven probably about 15-20 minutes. We put our chicken in skin side up so that the skin can brown, and we want to get that nice and start getting it crisped up. And once it does, we will turn our chicken. We will let the back side of it cook for a little bit. Then we will glaze it with our honey, and then we'll turn it back over skin side up and glaze that with our honey, put it back in for a few minutes, and it'll be done. Okay, our chicken has been in the oven now for about 15 minutes, and we're getting some very nice browning on our chicken. So now we're just going to turn it over and let it brown underneath. And really, I would like for this to brown a little bit more, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat up a little bit. Right now we have it on 190. I'm going to go ahead and put it on 195. Or in your case, going from 375 to 395. So we're going to put this back in the oven now for about 5 to 7 more minutes. We'll go ahead and turn our heat back up. In fact, I'll go up to 200, because we do want to get some nice caramelization on that chicken. So we'll leave that in for another 5-7 minutes, and then we'll check it again. Okay, our chicken has been on the second side for about 7 minutes. Let's just take it out, and we've got some really nice browning going on with that. And now what we're going to do is just baste, or actually what we'll do is we'll glaze our chicken with our honey first. We'll just glaze this back side with a little bit of our honey, just like that, as well as basting it with a little bit of our cooking liquid. Just like that. And we're just going to put this back in the oven for just a couple of minutes, let that glaze get set. And then we'll take it out and glaze the other side and put that back in for a few minutes, and we'll be ready to go. Our underside of our chicken is nicely glazed. Wow, look at that. Just beautiful. All right, now what we'll do is we'll turn over our chicken. We're going to go ahead and baste that top side again just a little bit. We just want to make sure it's nice and juicy. And you have to be careful when you're doing breast meat, because they can tend to dry out a little bit faster. So we may actually end up taking those out a little bit sooner than the other chicken pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and baste this with our cooking liquid, and then we'll glaze it one final time. And now for our glaze. And we're also going to move the rack up to the upper part of the oven, so that we get a little bit more power to glaze the top part of our chicken. So we'll just move the rack up a little bit, and we'll put our chicken back in. And we'll let that stay in for about another 5 minutes, and we'll be good to go. Now, just a word, when you put your chicken back in the oven and you're trying to get that glaze to really solidify on there, if you need to turn your heat up a little bit, certainly go ahead and do that, because we do want a little bit of caramelization. You can even put your oven on broil if you're not getting enough out of just the regular oven. It's not going to matter that much. But what you really want is the caramelization, and you want it to be quick so that you don't overcook your chicken. And that's what we have. We've got a nice crispy skin there, and that is what we want for our chicken. So I'm just going to baste it again, and one last time we'll put this back in for about another 2 or 3 minutes and get that glaze hardened, and it'll be ready to go. Our chicken is ready to go. Let's take it out, and just be careful. You'll have a lot of steam and heat coming out of that oven. Oh, look at that. It's just beautiful. Okay, it is ready. And now, just to be sure, you want to go ahead and check the temperature of your chicken. So I'm going to insert our thermometer. This is an instant read thermometer, and what we're looking for is 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees centigrade. And that is the temperature at which chicken is done. And we are getting there. Yes, we're at 160 and 163. Yes, so that is going to be done, because your chicken will continue to cook for 2 or 3 minutes after it's taken out. And it's certainly okay for the temperature to be a little bit under the 165 or the 74 when you first take it out, because again, it will continue to cook. This chicken is absolutely point on 163 degrees. So we are good to go. Let's get it plated up. Oh my goodness, this chicken looks incredible. It is done, and we have served this today with my couscous, with vegetables, preserved lemon, and dried fruits. Let's give it a try. To me, when you bake chicken, the litmus test is the breast portion, because if the breast portion is nice and tender, like this is, you know the rest of it's going to be fantastic. And it is very juicy, nice and tender, and you've got a little bit of the spice coming through there. Not much. Personally, I could have put a little bit more spice in this, so I could have put a little bit more Berberre in it. But you get all of the spices that were in that chicken, in that rub. Let's just taste the chicken with the couscous. That is a fantastic flavor, and it's so different. It's just so different from what you normally get. So, as you can see, it's a very easy meal to make. Be sure and check out my video on the couscous right above here, and you can make that the next time you make this chicken. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up down below, and be sure and subscribe to our channel. It's very helpful. And when you subscribe, ring the bell. That way you get notified every time we release a new video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. We've got a quarter, we've got 2 quarters, and I've left both breasts intact. And so basically, in the end, you can really have 8 servings. What? What?
Because it's confusing.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a quarter chicken.
Yeah.
Which means.
Yeah, okay.
I have not removed the leg from the thigh.
Okay, all right. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't go into numbers.
Okay.